I spent $8,616 on this game, Whiteout Survival, and it's day 64. I spent way too much too soon. I have this plan to spend $15,000 over the course of 2026, and I think that's probably not enough. But I'm going to give you an update on my spending plan and strategy tonight, because a lot of people have been talking about why I'm focusing on VIP efficiency, why I'm hoarding gems. I don't have a lot to spend tonight, so let's just take a look at that first, and then I'm going to tell you, let's review my VIP, and I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. So first things first, let's take a look here. There is I'm not going to do much with Dawn Market. I already did the $5 pack. I'm trying to save for Chinese New Year, really. We've got the custom artistry chest. I just took a look at this. I think I can use the charm design guides. So I have a bunch of the charm designs, but not the guides. So let's see. I'll just grab some of these at the $5 mark. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Alliance mobilization is over, so I can't double dip on that. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I do need, let's see, and the value is not super great anyways. Man, the widgets, I watched a whole bunch of information about, where to get power from. Widgets are the biggest source of power, but they're also temporary because they're locked to a hero, whereas gear is not. So really, gear and charms and pets are kind of more permanent power. And of those, the gear is probably the best, and then, I don't know, pets and charms is probably number 2 and 3, but widgets is important, but maybe not that important. So I'm not going to keep on pressing this at higher levels for now. Daily deals, I'm grabbing mainly because of the VIP, and I just want something to spend every day that's good value, and this is good value. It gives you, $6 worth of VIP for 5, and a bunch of mythic shards that I'll be able to use for other heroes later on. And then we'll just grab this monthly card. And I think that's where we're going to be. Let's see, the other events going on. Don't have anything here. We have Grow Your Heroes, but I'm not going to waste on this when we're trying to save. The deals. We do have Hall of Heroes. Now, here's the thing. I had been buying the Marks of Valor to be able to get widgets from them. And the question is, is it still worth trying to get the widgets? It is a $5 spend, which I can do, but I don't know, man. I already picked up some widgets. I have enough of these to press, I think, Molly's widget one more time, I believe. So I don't feel like this is all that great value for me right now. I already have Alonzo unlocked, so I already have maxed out. I already have Molly maxed out. I would only be doing this either for mythic shards or the widgets, and to me, the widgets is the obvious choice. I think I'm going to take a pass on this tonight, but tell me in the comments if you think that's the wrong decision, because I always appreciate hearing advice. I'm just giving you my thoughts so that you can hear what's on my mind and you can think it through with me, so to speak. And I picked up this special deal yesterday. I think this is still a really good deal, actually, and today's the last day to grab it, but I don't want to keep spending a lot right now, and I'm trying to save most of my spend for the bigger events. So with that said, let's just take a look at where things are right now. I have been pushing Geronimo's gear up a little bit, so I've got him at 80 and 60 right now, and I realized, my plan is to get these to 100 as well, but if I keep on just pressing only Geronimo, then, I'm missing opportunities to kind of get Alonzo's gear pressed up as well, so I think I'm going to shift a little bit and maybe get Alonzo to 60-60 first, and then, kind of balance it out a little bit, because that's not really the primary gear for Geronimo anyways. It's something that I'm just going to want to, I'm using it as an opportunity to grind the gear while I can't use Essence Stones because we're waiting for things like Hall of Chiefs or SVS. So that's where I'm at right now, and that's my thoughts on how I'm going to press this. And then I think Molly I'm going to do last, essentially. Or maybe I'll, yeah, I think I'll probably do Molly last. So then we have VIP. So let's take a look at the VIP points. Grab this bundle, and let's see where we're at. I did a mix of gem spending for Alliance mobilization after the reset and after recording yesterday. Most of it was actually for pet common wild marks, after listening to a lot of the feedback that I was getting and some advice from the community. Some of it was for VIP as well, because I didn't want to have all of the gems going towards wild marks at this point when some of that spend was meant for VIP. And I just used the Alliance mobilization as an opportunity to use some of the gems for both of those things. So my wild marks now, well, let me just clear these out. But my wild marks are at a decent amount now, but not anywhere near it needs to be. What am I missing them? Yeah, they're right there. So 443. that's a decent amount, but it's nowhere near it needs to be. So I'm going to have to do some more, but I'm going to try to do it only during events so that I can, get the double dip on the credit. So my thoughts on this are something like this, and I think I mentioned this in the live the other day, but here's where I've kind of my amended VIP efficiency is. It's still true that anything $5 and less is a more efficient VIP spend, but the thing is, what you have to realize, the reason I keep on harping on that, the reason I'm focused on that is because it gives me a way to ground my spending until the bigger events. So what I'm trying to do is give myself a justification for spending only, like the $5 amount or having these low spend days, so that when Chinese New Year comes around and maybe I'll dump $1,000 on that day, I'll still have something in the tank to be able to really maximize on a high, a really good value event. So when there's a lot of rewards, and I'll be able to use some of the gems and take advantage of that event fully. So the reason for the VIP efficiency, I'm shifting my strategy now. Like, I'm not trying to focus solely. I've always said this actually, but I'm trying to amend the strategy so it's more clear to people what I'm doing. I've always said that sometimes I'm going to be spending on VIP for the sake of VIP efficiency, and sometimes I'm going to be doing it for other reasons, whether it's an account goal or, like in the case of the custom skins that I really wanted. That's not the most efficient spending, but or a special event to take advantage of the maximum value of the event itself, despite the fact that some of those purchases may not be super efficient for VIP. So this is the only reason I'm kind of focused on VIP. And the corollary to that, why am I hanging on to these gems? Why do I have 1.8 million gems still? The only reason is I'm slowly using them for things like Alliance Mobilization, where I can double dip. And I'm really waiting for an event like, I was told, I don't know if Journey of Lights has an event that gives you, points for spending gems as well, but I was told that Chinese New Year definitely does. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Chinese New Year to kind of dump some of these gems on either VIP or the common wild marks so that I can double dip. And I'll keep some in the tank as well. But I'm also going to be doing some spending. And when I did the math on VIP, actually, even if I don't count my current gem spend, when I did the math on VIP, I think I'm about $2,500 away, actually a little less than that now. I'm about $2,500 away from just getting VIP 12 organically. In other words, if I just spent at the $5 and below amount, even if I spend a little bit more than that, the $10 and $20 amount, then between the gems I'll get for that and the VIP points I'll get for those packs, then I'll get to the VIP 12 even without using the current gems that I have. So you think about that in context and think about the fact that Chinese New Year is coming up and I'm probably going to spend a bunch on that. I'm probably at worst only a couple months away, but probably maybe even just much less than that, because more likely in Chinese New Year I'll spend enough to get VIP close to VIP 12, and I'll use the gems in combination with that, both from the spending and from what I already have, and I'll be at VIP 12 probably by the end of the Chinese New Year event, I'm thinking, or very close thereafter. Now, after that, the question becomes, now, am I still going to be worried about VIP efficiency? The answer is yes, but only in the same way I just said. Like, I'm going to use it as a way to ground my spending in between the big purchases. So, I do need to keep spending on certain things to make sure that my account progresses nicely and I'm able to, help the team and be competitive and still be relevant. But I'm hoping that that gives me a way to ground my purchases in between the bigger spends. So on these slower days, like looking at the VIP efficiency itself is a way that helps me ground those purchases. I hope that makes sense. If you have any comments or questions or concerns with this strategy, if something doesn't make sense, I'm learning from you as much as you're learning from me. Like, what you're learning from me is the way I'm thinking through the problem and how I'm approaching it. And that gives you the opportunity to help me understand stuff that maybe I'm not seeing. So do make sure you add comments or come and join a live and give me some comments there as well. If you like this content, please make sure you drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, turn on notifications, because you're not going to know how this journey ends and if I'm able to accomplish these goals with my budget unless you follow me along and see how it goes. I'm going to learn as a player. I'm going to learn, my spending. You're going to be able to see whether I'm able to stay on track or not, how much I go off track if I go off track, and what the account looks like by the end of this year. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much for joining. Until next time, I'll see you later.